This is the EVP Podcast. Well, hello!
Wowzers.
Yes, it's me, DVO. And along with my other team members...
I'm Beaker.
And I'm Ghosty.
Yeah, you guys are.
It wouldn't be anyone else.
Welcome to another episode of the EVP Podcast with the team. EVP, that's us. Because we're awesome.
Yeah.
And I put the P in the V. So here we go.
Easy now. Easy.
All right, gentlemans. How are you guys doing today?
I'm wide awake.
That's good.
I'm sober, wide awake.
Sober, wide awake. Even though you went out last night.
I didn't go out last night. I slept on the couch last night.
Oh, okay.
And then I went to bed eventually.
Okay. Good man. You're a good boy.
I was day drinking. I day drinked. Then I sobered up and knocked out at a good, reasonable time.
That's good.
I went to bed at 3.
That's a good, reasonable time.
I thought so.
Beaker, you're telling me about a show that you... Did you watch the show about astral projections?
I started it.
Okay.
Last
So
night,
it's like how many series or how many episodes?
It's 8 episodes long.
And what's the name of it again?
It's Behind Her Eyes.
Okay.
And I guess it does a lot to do with astral projection. It's funny is because like when I was reading this article that was talking about whether or not astral projection is possible and how to do it,
Yeah.
it mentioned Behind Her Eyes a lot. And then I looked up a couple different articles, and a lot of articles were mentioning this Behind Her Eyes.
Oh, interesting.
This came out, I guess, early 2021.
And what's it on? What's it streaming on?
It's Netflix. It's a Netflix original, actually.
Oh, it's okay.
So
I'm going to look it up.
it starts off like as I'm watching the first episode, it's like this lady goes out to the bar and meets some guy, and they kind of make out, and the guy's like, "Oh no,
where this is going?
I shouldn't have done this." And then the next morning when she gets to work, it's the new psychiatrist working at her office, and she meets the wife. Well, she doesn't meet him; she just sees him, and then she goes and hides in the bathroom. But apparently, the show has a lot to do with astral projection.
Interesting.
And the funny thing is like I'm reading all these articles, I see it, and I'm like, "What is this? I've never heard of this." And so I go and pull it up on Netflix, and it's in my list of things to watch.
Nice.
I had added it to my list, apparently. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start watching it.
And it just came out last year?
2021.
2021, yeah.
So
I guess it was early 2021 because some of the articles I saw were written in like April
okay.
last year. So it's newish. It's about a year old.
And you watched the first episode?
I watched about half of the first episode.
What do you think so far?
It's interesting.
Okay.
Just some of the stuff that I've seen so far in like the half an hour of the first episode. It's just kind of reading the names of the different episodes, like the second one there, lucid dreaming.
Yeah. Which
lucid dreaming, I guess, is another form of, or another term for astral projection, or some people think. But
interesting.
I kind of want to watch it.
Is it a fictional show?
Yeah, it's a fictional show.
Okay.
I guess the episode has a lot, or the show has a lot to do with astral projection. So it's something I'm gonna be probably binge watching this week.
Yeah, I want to check it out.
It seems like a lot of people really like this show.
That's why too, because a lot of people have referenced it in the research you did. So I was like, okay, now
at
I'm curious.
least 3 different articles referenced Behind Her Eyes, and then Doctor Strange as well was referenced a lot. One of the articles I read was fairly recent because they mentioned Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Oh, okay.
And how, if you haven't seen the trailer, because it's in the trailer where Doctor Strange kind of pushes Peter Parker's astral self out of him.
Yes.
It's just astral projection keeps kind of coming up into our awareness in media and apparently here in the studio as well. Because we're like, let's do an episode on astral projection. So we're like, okay, didn't we already do that? And we look through our list. No, we didn't do it. And then last night I'm like, no, we did do this.
On episode 30.
Episode 30. So if you want to hear more about astral projection, listen to episode 30.
Go back in time.
Go back in time. And we'll talk about time travel too. But there might be stuff that we missed. We could probably touch on it again in a little bit.
Yeah, well, I was doing a little bit of research, and I found how all these other religions and tribes have used astral projection for centuries. Before we did. So anyway, this week, I want to talk about something mysterious. Are you guys ready to talk about something mysterious?
No. I am.
Yes. No, it's scary.
So I don't know if you guys are like me, people listening, but if you remember at the end of 2020, like from November to December, these random monoliths popped up. like from the what's that movie? Space Odyssey.
Space Odyssey 2020,
2001.
2001, yeah.
So these kind of popped up, and it started here in Utah, where we're located. So it started here in Utah, and a few of them kind of popped up randomly. And I remember like hearing it on the news, but then I always thought it was fascinating, but I never really did any follow up on it. And so now I thought, I'm curious, what happened to these monoliths? Because these were like 10 to 12 feet tall monoliths. You can see the pictures of people standing next to them,
Yeah.
Like these things are huge. Like when I saw the pictures, I don't know about you guys, when I saw the pictures, like when it came on the news, it seemed, I don't know, maybe 6 feet tall. I don't know how it looked to you, just kind of, because it's just in the background of, these mountains and desert.
I'm sure if I stood next to it, it wouldn't look that big.
Not as big, but it still looked pretty big.
It'd be taller than you.
Well, I know. I'm not 12 feet tall, but,
But I saw a picture.
I am a big guy. I'm just saying.
I saw a picture
baby
of
squatch.
because I don't know, was it
I
like
would
a
eat it.
wildlife officer? I don't even know what his job was, but he's standing next to the monolith. This thing is huge compared to this guy standing there.
It's only 12 feet tall. It's like a basketball hoop.
Yeah, that's all. And so I was curious, like, what happened to these monoliths? And I found out as I was doing research, not only did the one in Utah pop up, but 4 other ones popped up.
You didn't hear about these other ones popping up when they were happening?
I had heard of other ones, but I didn't know there were so many that popped up.
I heard of the second one. I didn't know that there was the other ones.
No, wasn't that? I don't know. I found that pretty interesting. So we're going to give you guys a timeline of the monoliths and tell you which alien race built it. Here we have the
Spoiler,
answers.
it's the Nordics. Or is it?
So the
around
first
and
one
find
popped up in November 18th of 2020. That was here in Utah. And I forgot the name of the national park or desert. Did you guys get that?
Oh, I
Space
did.
Well, you look that up. So it popped up November 18th. It went down November 27th. It was
Yeah,
actually
it did.
it was torn down because all these people were traveling here to Utah, and it was a national park. And so people were kind of coming in, leaving their trash. Just it's not supposed to do that. So a couple, actually, I think like 4 guys actually tore it down and took off with it. But they don't know like when it popped up exactly. Just one of the wildlife resource choppers had seen the glimmer from it. They look back at Google Maps, and they think it was actually put up because they could see it on Google Maps somewhere between August 15th to October 16th of 2016. So somewhere in that time frame that it popped up. So it was probably put up 2016 and wasn't discovered until 4 years later in 2020.
Well, the one website said August 2015 to October 2016. So
That's
like a
that's
year
right.
and a
That's what I
half.
wrote here. Yeah, that's right. So
Or not a year
August,
and a half, but it's just about a year period where it could have popped up.
yeah, so August of 2015, between August 2015 to October 2016. That's
That was
right.
just based off the Google
Maps.
Google Earth.
Google Earth. Yeah, Google Earth.
when they took pictures of it when it
Yeah.
showed up in the last
And
one.
this was some just remote canyon in Red Rock County here in Utah,
Right.
which is just
Red Rock
insane.
Country.
San Juan County.
Yeah. What?
Red
Okay.
Rock Country.
Country.
In San Juan County.
I can't read. We've established this.
The R was silent.
It is. I'm from Utah.
So this is what's interesting. Okay, so again, this was discovered 4 years later, roughly 4 to 5 years later, on November 18th. It was torn down November 27th, and it was by I don't know what you call them, but they just were like, "Hey, this is not good for the land. Let's tear this down. Let's bring in too many people here." So they just tore it down.
Yeah, I guess there was like some photographers there that night that were like taking pictures. And
Yeah.
they saw this whole thing happen. And I guess one of the dudes like turned around as they were leaving and they just looked at the photographers and they're like, leave no trace.
Kind of random. Now there has been speculation, like, was this a prop from the TV show Westworld that was being filmed for HBO? But I don't know if it was ever referenced in. I never watched the series.
No, I guess someone looked it up on, I can't remember the website, but there is no records of any movie or anything being shot in that area.
Right.
So that was one of the theories that was just a movie prop that was left over that they didn't take down for reasons.
Some people speculate, was it an ad for was it a marketing ploy? Well, if you think about it, it's been sitting there for 4 years. That'd be that's you're playing the long game
That's
on that.
the worst marketing plan ever.
You're playing the long game on that one. or is it an artist? So we'll come back to these theories. Anyway, so this one in Utah again was torn down November 27th. Coincidentally, the exact same day on November 27th in Romania, another monolith was discovered. However, this one was not embedded in the ground. This was just sat down in Romania. And that was taken down December 2nd. Oh, I should mention that one in Utah where the photographers found those 4 guys tearing it down. They actually kind of rocket back and forth a while before it actually
Because
fell
it was
over.
buried a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it was buried. I don't know how deep it was, but it was buried a little bit. So I thought that was interesting that the same day in Utah that they tore it down, another one popped up in Romania the exact same day. And that only lasted like 5 days. So that was
Now,
kind
that
of...
one lasted 4 days.
So November 27th to December 2nd.
But then that one vanished overnight and is a mystery still.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that one no one knows.
In Romania.
Yeah, the one that in Romania, it's just disappeared on its own.
All right, so this was taken down, or this one disappeared on December 2nd, which is my birthday, everybody. DVO's birthday, December 2nd. Put that out there. And then, Ghosty, what happened else on December 2nd?
There was another one that ended up appearing in California.
The same day.
California.
Yes. This one was in Pine Mountain. It was Atascadero, California. But that one only lasted a day. That one showed up on December 2nd, and then on December 3rd. But they said that one could be like easily toppled. That one wasn't embedded in the ground. This one was only about 10 feet tall. It looked similar to the Utah and Romanian ones, but a little bit more narrow. It had the smooth surface made out of stainless steel, but it was not embedded in the ground, and it was easily able to topple over. So on December 3rd, it got that push. A group of young men who apparently drove 5 hours to San Luis Obispo County, that's where this is located. They live them streams. They live them streams.
Live them streams.
They live them streams.
I like them live them streams.
I'm just making shit up now. They live streamed themselves. That was the weirdest mashup.
Live them streams.
That was the weirdest shit I've ever said.
That was the weirdest shit you've ever said?
Well,
you
sober.
listened to the Caden
Sober.
episode, right?
So,
Oh my god. All right. They live streamed themselves destroying the monolith. And as they were doing it, they were all dressed in camo gear and night vision and Trump paraphernalia, and they were chanting America First and Christ is King. And they were rocking it back and forth until it fell over. They're saying, Christ is king in this country. We don't want illegal aliens from Mexico or outer space.
No.
And then they go, so let's tear this bitch down.
They just hear aliens and they think Mexico gonna raise its bastards.
I don't know.
but at least they were nice because they replaced the monolith. Right?
Yeah, they put a wooden cross in its place.
Uh-huh.
That they
What?
dragged the monolith down the mountain. But it was fine because it's funny, they said. Oh, man. But on the December 4th, it returned.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
So,
The plot thickens.
One of the guys felt bad.
but they do know who was responsible for this one in California, though. There was these residents named Travis Kenny, his father Randall Kenny, Wade McKenzie, and Jared Riddle, and they were all local metal artists. They were inspired from the other 2 monoliths, and they knew that the 2001 Space Odyssey book had the 3 monoliths, and they wanted to finish the trilogy.
I like where they were at. I like where their heads at on that.
And so they were just saying, no, it'd be just a fun change of pace for the, things going on in
Yeah.
2020.
And they had pictures and videos of them building.
Yeah,
it.
they were doing it all like that on video and stuff.
And they put the second one up.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
So I think they put both of them up. What's interesting is why did they have 2 of them? So were they just...
It's just stainless steel sheet metal.
I know, but I wonder where their plans were. Were their plans to...
I think they were just trying to have fun.
Yeah,
And then-
but why would have 2? Maybe one was like just was a trial, and then they were building a second one to make it.
I'm sure they just had a
improved.
bunch of parts that it's just easy to weld together. It's
Medieval jousting on motorcycles.
Yeah, I'm sure they had.
There
sure.
you
You need 2. You can't have just one.
But then on December 7th, a 4th monolith appeared in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and this time it was in a parking lot of an REI.
Right off a freeway, I heard.
New Mexico apparently isn't as creative as everybody else.
Yeah. And then this one, it was torn down in the same day. But this one, people were burying it down to the ground. There's videos of people like hitting it with sledgehammers, putting it down into the ground and everything. Maybe REI was trying to do it just to get more customers. Who knows?
So it was a marketing ploy.
That
REI
was
did
a
all
good
four
one.
of them. They're like, follow the monoliths to outdoor savings.
Here,
That's genius.
make a left in Albuquerque.
We'll build it in Utah and let it sit for 5 years. And then once it's discovered, buy it REI.
All roads lead to Albuquerque.
So what if, okay, this was a weird idea. I got a couple weird ideas here about the Utah one and Romanian one. Okay, so the first one that was here in Utah could have been a artist who thought by putting this here, this would be cool. I could leave this here forever. It might be here forever before anybody ever sees this. Or it could have been a tomb. Maybe buried somebody there. And that's like their headstone.
Or aliens, man.
Look, I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens.
But he could be like a Romanian guy and now lives in Romania. And he just has another one because he just makes these for fun.
And he's waiting for it to be found.
And then as soon as it got found out about and got left, he's like, well, I've been waiting for this day. I have another one just ready to go.
Oh, so that's where I put that.
I think the coolest thing would have been if the Albuquerque one was just a few days earlier, because they would all been in sync, where the day they're down, that same day or the day after, another one pops up. Albuquerque was a little slow on it. I'm pulling the trigger. Come on, REI, get it together. That'd have been fun.
Someone was on vacation.
Yeah, someone didn't get the memo. It was taken down. They only took it down faster than we thought. We didn't know it was going to be the next day.
Right? This is the same guys from California. They're not again. Not in God's country.
You know, in California, right? Like, if Utah has something, California gets jealous and they want it too.
They're
So.
always trying to copy us.
Always.
Every time.
Always. So
Or if we copy them and do it better than they did, they get upset and sue.
So before we talk about the fifth monolith that popped up.
There was 5?
Yes. Before we talk about the fifth one, let's talk more about these other 4.
Okay.
So what alien did it? Mars, Jupiter, what do we think it is? Another galaxy?
Dogman did it. So they could pee on it.
Mark their territory.
Yep. Scratching post. It was done by a race of cats
Catman.
that knows how to use rivets. It was riveted.
It was riveted.
It was riveted.
So imagine somebody taking all these tools out to the middle of the desert.
Well, it would be hard to do being not
it's
seen
hard
because
to-
it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, of course. I'm just talking about getting out there to do it.
And those dudes showed up with wheelbarrows, so it couldn't have been too hard.
They made it seem like it was hard to get to.
That's what they wanted.
Maybe
Like,
it's just really,
was
really
it the
far
people-
out of the way. I think it's just
I
really,
think it's
really
just
far out of the way.
Because I know, like, the wildlife department or whatever was trying to say it's like in this remote area that's really hard to get to. I don't think it was, because there was just. I remember the reports when it came out. There were so many people like flocking to this thing, and it increased the amount of like garbage that was just being left on the ground in the desert, which is why those 4 dudes are like went and tore it down, and it makes sense why they would say leave no trace, because that's something they teach you, you know, early on when you're camping.
Hiking
It's like-
school.
yeah, hiking and camping. It's just like leave it how you found it. So it's like don't leave your trash all over the place. So these dudes that probably saw it, and they're some sort of like environmentalist hicks from southern Utah. They're just like, we don't like garbage, and I kind of get it. Like, you know,
Yeah, sure, it's not cool to
Don't
leave-
just leave
yeah.
your stuff laying around. So I get the reason why they did it, but it couldn't have been that hard to find if there was that many people flocking to it to see it and taking pictures of
Once
it.
they found it. Because, again, it took like 4 to 5 years to actually find it.
Yeah.
They only found it by aerial view.
Yeah, because they saw a glimmer, and they were like, the choppers, the wildlife resource choppers, like, wait, what the heck is that? Ooh, mysterious.
Yeah, so it was
Mysterious.
really strange that it was, been there for so long, and it wasn't put in a place to be found. Mm-hmm. Very strange.
It was like a scavenger hunt gone wrong.
Yeah, it's interesting that it's been there for 4 to 5 years. It is interesting how these other ones pop up the same day as one's taken down.
I just think that's pure coincidence.
It's a very good coincidence. I mean, the Romania one. We already know California is an artist. Most likely Albuquerque is an artist. We still know the Albuquerque one, right? That's still a mystery. but it's still
About who did it? Yeah,
most
don't-
likely.
The
Aliens.
Romanian one was the only one that had like etchings and stuff on the side of it. I don't think the one here in Utah. I think it was just smooth stainless steel. I
Yeah.
think the one in Romania actually had like carvings and stuff in the sides.
What was the carvings of?
Just random stuff. You know, I'm not surprised that there's 4 of them. You've seen the Fifth Element, right? And you got the 4 stones
Oh yeah.
that help destroy the aliens.
Yes.
Done
That's
well.
what it was. Fifth Element.
What's the
Lilo
fifth
Dallas.
monolith?
Lilo Dallas. Oh, the fifth. The fifth one.
Yeah. That was
Are we there? Are we
That's
on
the
that
most
one?
mysterious one.
The most mysterious one that happened on.
We can still recap, but
It was erected on
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day in 2020.
that's the most mysterious of it all. Christmas Day,
In,
Right.
Corona Park, I believe. Corona Heights Park in the Bay Area. It just mysteriously showed up, and it was there for just a day, because they wanted to see how long it would last, basically. So this one
Not
is
as tall though, right?
No, this one was only 7 feet tall.
It's not as tall
so
as other ones. Kind of
the
weak sauce.
yeah, the aliens in this part of California, they got a little
That's
lazy.
racist.
I know. The Greys,
Okay.
the Greys.
They're the
Still a little
They're a
racist.
shorter race of aliens.
They put up the Gingerlith, a gingerbread monolith.
Oh, mysterious.
I know it looked delicious.
How'd they know our culture?
They've been studying us for years.
Oh, true. They live among us. That's,
Yes.
that's why
I don't
we
think the
know.
Greys do. The Nordics and the reptilians do,
Yes.
but not the Greys. 'Cause
So was this thing the same, like, tall, narrow?
yeah,
You get a picture? Oh,
yeah. I have
go down. It was there.
go down. That's what she
Your
said.
phone. Whoa.
There's sort of a picture. there.
Gorgeous.
So were they just hoping, like, see how long it lasts? Like, there were people who come by and take bites out of it?
No. There's it. Fell down.
Oh,
Oh, Phil.
No, some baker put it up just to kind of, with all the stuff that was going on in 2020, you know, coronavirus, murder hornets, all that jazz.
It's good looking, though.
They just thought it would be like a fun thing to do to kind of like lighten the mood, especially on Christmas Day. They just wanted to see. They said they were going to leave it up as long as they could, and it crumpled and fell apart the
wind-
next day.
Pretty strong wind came by. And knocked it over.
Probably.
well, I see that it's like in the park that it's in. It's kind of above the city.
Yeah, it's up on a hill.
I was thinking
overlooking
that
the
was
city.
going to be because in
front of their shop is
the
what I
same type
thought.
of monolith-looking thing where it's like in the middle of nowhere. It almost look, but
No ads.
it's funny. I was thinking in my head that it was just going to be like in a city park. I'm like, how long it's going to last? All the rats are going to eat that thing.
Well, it's kind of in a park, but it's up on the mountainside. It looks
yeah,
like.
looks more like a hiking park.
But yeah, they just thought it was like a fun thing to do to
Good
kind
for
of
them.
to lighten the mood that was.
But you were saying that
2020.
this baker did other items.
Yeah, they've done other monuments. They've done one that looked like the Empire State Building. They did the one that looked like Taj Mahal, and they did one that looked like Osama bin Laden's compound.
Gosh. That's kind of funny. Good for these guys.
So that was the Fifth Element. That was the one that brings them all together.
Yeah.
The gingerbread.
That was the
And
one that was in the center.
Christmas and gingerbread was going to bring them all together.
Yes, that's true. So which aliens did it? Don't be racist, Ghosty. We know you want to.
I want to say all the sorts of bad things.
Yeah, it was his way. His way.
So we definitely know the last three were all artists. And the first two...
Well, Romania, we don't know. Oh, yeah, the first two. Yeah, sorry.
But I think it's more artists.
Well, you got to think the first one was discovered November 18th.
November 18th.
And the second one popped up November 27th.
Yes.
So you're looking at like 9 days.
Mm-hmm.
10
days.
10 days.
Yeah.
If it's just sheet metal and that, I don't think it would be that hard to make in that short amount
Well,
of time.
stainless steel. It's not sheet metal. Stainless
Stainless steel.
steel. It's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
yeah.
But if you have a couple guys, like, it shouldn't take too long to make. I don't know.
You got 10 days to build it for Romania's sakes. You got 10 days to build it, and it is very coincidental. It's the same day, but
Does
I
it
think
say
that is
how
what it
deep
is.
into the ground it was embedded?
That I didn't. I never found anything about how deep it was. I mean, these guys that tore it down in Utah, they had a rocket back and forth, but I didn't hear anything about them digging or anything. That it seemed like it was more of
It was just heavy. It was just heavy and standing.
Yeah, so it was more of like a rocking motion, and it finally toppled over.
It's more of a health hazard.
Yeah. If it fell over that easily from them rocking it, yeah. It really is. Good thing no one leaned on it when they were visiting. Could have knocked it over on some
Crush
kid.
somebody.
Yeah, I mean, at 12 feet tall, that's pretty heavy, I bet. I mean, it's stainless steel. I mean,
Yeah.
It's pretty heavy. These guys had to, like, smash it, like, tear it into pieces to haul it out.
Well, the fact that they were able to knock it down and disassemble it right there,
Yeah.
to me, that doesn't say aliens like people.
Yeah,
are
I mean, it tells me it's hollow. I know, like, the one in Albuquerque, I don't know who took it down, but the police did find it. And they put it in the back of one of their trucks, and it was hollow. Like, you can see it was hollow. So,
the fact that it was riveted, the first one here in Utah.
yeah.
If aliens are so far advanced technologically,
don't believe
to
It would have been
us,
one single piece.
right. It wouldn't have been riveted. It would have been like
It would have
would've
made
been
from
no
their
seams.
mind.
Yeah, but it was aliens.
I mean, it just shows you how fast humans are just ready to destroy things.
Yeah, that's
Like-
true, too.
Like anything that you can make or build or whatever, and is just kind of like free range for people to touch and do whatever, they will destroy that
I
shit
know.
so fast.
Because when I think about if I were to see these, I start taking pictures. I'm like, this is the cool shit right here. Like, this is awesome. My thought would not be like, it must burn.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why people are like that. They just see something like, we have to tear it down. We have to destroy it.
This is not part of my usual day-to-day life.
Well, it kind of makes sense with the first guys because they wanted to stop people
Preserve
from destroying the earth in the remote desert.
Right. I mean, I
Same thing.
could see that. as
Same thing
being a
with Ghosty saying, like, people want to just destroy things. So, like, oh, I'm going to come. I don't care if I drive over, private land.
Well, yeah, people do that. Like, there'll be private land. They'll just drive. I don't care. Drive over
Yeah,
bushes and trees and then dinosaur tracks that have been there preserved for millions of years.
Yeah.
F it.
I need that picture. I need to put it on the gram.
Some people just want to watch those influencers that like trample the signs that literally say stay on path, and they're like, no, I gotta get my picture for social media.
Yeah. True that.
Damn
True that.
influencers.
Well, they fall off the Grand Canyon all the time.
Well, maybe they deserve
Well,
it.
Darwinism is fully in effect.
Yeah.
I think.
For the gram.
For me, honestly, the most mysterious thing is the Utah one. Who put it there, and how?
John Crockett.
Like, what's their like? What was their goal with it? Like, you knew you put it somewhere really remote. You probably thought it wasn't going to be seen for a while, but then they still haven't come forward unless they're dead. I don't know, but
He is. I have no idea.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, why would you not want to have recognition for something you built like that?
unless they're going to wait till they're dead. Like, it was me. Here's all the evidence of me putting it together. I don't know.
Or if that was just maybe that first one being built was kind of like his, or that person's like tomb, or they're not their tomb, but maybe they wanted their ashes buried there and they had that as a request, maybe, and that's
Yeah, I
they
don't
built
know.
that for themselves to be like, I was wearing my ashes.
So they just were like, when they knew they were going to die, they just kind of sat there and lit themselves
No,
on
no,
fire.
they had somebody do it for them. Maybe I don't know.
But that's for me. That's the most mysterious thing is because I was kind of when this thing popped up first, where I was like, "Whoa, shit, what's happening? This is a sign."
This is a sign.
And then I just forgot all about it. Well, I never forgot about it because I had thought about it, and I even mentioned it to you guys. Like, this would be an interesting story one day on the podcast, and so
I must have not been there for that conversation because I don't remember that.
it was early in the beginnings
forgot
of the
about it.
EVP.
Well, that would make sense too because we started talking about putting this podcast together around that time. Like we started in February of 2021, so this was about 2 months after this all went down.
Yeah. So the conclusion is aliens.
Aliens.
It was totally aliens or Dogman.
There's all these artists. I just wish I knew who the artist was. I'm very
Well, there
curious what
was-
their end game was. to this.
I'm wondering if the Romanian and Utah one is connected.
Or you think it's just... I do think it was highly coincidental. There is a rumor that it was a certain artist.
McCracken. I said the name wrong. John McCracken.
Released the Kraken?
Yeah, I said Crockett. It's John McCracken.
And that
He died in
the artist,
2011.
yeah, he
Yeah.
died in 2011. Which would have been way before it was probably even put up. But they do think was there instructions, and so when the Utah one was tore down, the instruction would be pop up this other one in Romania. I don't know, but I can't remember what his title was, but I think the owner of the estate for this artist As he reviewed it and he saw the pictures, he was like, "No, that's not his work. There's like the whole thing about rivets, and there was just little dings in here and there. He's like, that wouldn't have been his work. He would have been a lot more precise about the way it looked."
But my other
The first
thing
one
is,
could have been though, because his son even said that like his dad's goal or dream was to have his art put up in random remote places for people to discover.
But that was the thing about Romania that I think, because it was discovered so fast. It wasn't remote.
I think the first one could have been the artist, and I think the rest were just copycats.
Yeah.
Even the Romanian one.
Yeah, it could be copycats for sure.
That's also what.
But it was mysterious that the Romanian one was put up the day after the one in Utah.
Same with California.
disappeared.
The day after Romania went down.
Pure coincidence.
But I think the one in
Day
Romania,
of.
the California one, was more of like, oh, let's follow the suit of, because they even said they want to follow suit of this trilogy.
Yes.
So
yes.
they were watching it. They were keeping their eye on it and getting one ready.
They're like that lady in Independence Day that stands on the Empire State Building with a sign
me.
like, "Take me." Aliens.
So if you guys were curious like
Here's our
me and was like,
tribute.
whatever happened to these monoliths? There's your answer.
They're in the garbage.
Yeah,
There was 5. The 5th one was the best one.
Yes.
The first one's the
It was
most
the fifth
mysterious.
it
element.
was the most delicious one.
Leela Dallas multi-pass.
But the first one's the most mysterious still. Still unknown. It's very interesting, the first one.
I just want to go hide random shit to see if people find it.
It's got to be big.
Yeah.
I'm big.
You hide
14.
yourself. The big-
Bury me in the
Found me.
Do that. Bury
one's
me
gonna
somewhere
find
remotely
me.
with a giant monolith.
They
that
found
looks-
you in a cave
yeah,
with Sasquatch.
a giant, a ginger statue.
Ginger squatch babies running.
Do you think in the world of Sasquatch, do you think the ginger squatches get shunned like they do in?
Most definitely.
Oh yeah,
Most definitely.
yeah. They don't have. I'm sure.
The uprising of the
They're out,
gingers.
they're outcasted.
Yeah, I don't. I don't think they have souls either.
And they walk among us.
Maybe I'm a
They look
baby.
similar to Beaker.
Maybe I'm a baby squatch.
They most definitely are.
Could be.
I'm
Because they're
like,
10 feet. You're not fully grown
No,
yet.
I'm
Yeah,
6 and a
you're
half.
still adolescent.
I'm like Haggard. I'm half squatch.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a Harry Potter reference. He's half giant. I'm half squatch.
Makes sense.
Fun times.
Well, should we call that?
Well, I think we should.
All right, we'll go so
Well.
don't play that.
Peace out, butterflies.
Aliens, man.
This is the EVP Podcast.